Hey folks, this is just a quick tutorial on how to do chem in Google Docs. So if you, in the past, didn't really pay attention to the post I made about how to do this, I'll just do a video. It's a little bit easier. So a lot of you guys have been writing stuff like, oh, H20 just drives me nuts. But a lot of you have been doing stuff like this, H2O bracket L. This is not 100% correct. What you need to do is use your keyboard shortcuts in order to make your superscript and subscript values. So to make a superscript, that's an up top number, like a charge of an ion, you use control and period. For Mac, it would be command and period. For subscript, it's control and comma, and obviously command comma for Mac. So I'll go back here. I'm going to use my mouse. I'm going to select the number that I want to subscript, control comma, boom, subscript. Select my other stuff, control comma, subscript. Another thing that you can do, one of the really most egregious and ugliest ones, something like this, SO4 2 minus, or NO3 minus. If you write this down wrong, you're going to use it wrong. So a lot of folks I've seen in Science 30 and in a couple in Chem 20 on this online stuff, people are writing this down and they're like, then they try to use it and they think it's NO with a 3 minus charge. It's not. There's a reason why we use superscript and subscript. It's so we don't get confused with these. So we need to superscript and subscript the correct stuff. So in sulfate, SO4, we're going to subscript the 4. We're going to superscript the 2 minus, and we're going to subscript the bracket AQ. Hey, look, now that like actually looks like chemistry, not just a whole bunch of letters and numbers just slammed onto the keyboard. Same deal here. Oh, another way that you can select things is by holding the shift key and using the direction arrow keys. So if I want to select the 3 and my cursor is here, it's to the right of the 3 or to the left of the 3, I'll hold down shift and I'll hit the right arrow button or arrow key and it will select whatever is to the right of me. And now I can just go control comma and subscript that bad boy. Then I'll do the same thing here and I'll superscript that. Then I will subscript my AQ. And then this is correct and it's looking real nice. This is much, much, much easier to read and it makes sense. So you might be wondering, okay, how on earth do we do those conversion brackets? Remember the brackets that look kind of like that and they've got, you know, something moles of CH4 on top and then something moles of O2 on the bottom. The conversions that we use where we put the mole ratio. If you're wondering how to do that, well, look no more. So 3H2 gas plus N2 gas. Here's a little nice one. Minus key, greater than key, hit space, boom, it magically turns it into an arrow key for you. We love it. It's so good. And that's going to make 2NH3 gas. So we have to, if we're writing down our chemical equation, this is not really looking good. It's not really right. I'm going to select the stuff that I want to subscript. Boom, boom, boom. Now we have a beautiful, balanced, and correctly annotated chemical reaction. So what happens if you get a question, and this is one of one of the ones we just saw, it's a mole-to-mole question. Oops, excess nitrogen. Okay. How many moles of ammonia can we produce if we have 11.5 moles of hydrogen and excess nitrogen, which means and so much nitrogen we don't care. Like we're never going to run out of it. Okay. So if we want to do a question like this, I'm just going to blow my text up to 24 just so it's a little bit easier to see. We're going to make an equation. And here I have the new equation button. If you don't have that on your screen, you can go to Insert, go down to equation, and there you go. When you click equation, you'll notice that your cursor gets a little kind of light blue rectangle around it, so you're in equation mode. In order to use equation mode, we build equations with little pieces. So I'm going to write down, first of all, my given. So 11.5 mole hydrogen. And in order to make a little subscript when you're in equation mode, unfortunately, you can't use control comma. It kind of sucks. However, they got a way around it. We go to the one called math operations. That's really the only one you're going to be using. And we're going to find the subscript, x with a little a, like that. And now I have my little 2. Now I'm going to do my conversion bracket. So I'm going to set up my little brackets. I'm going to go in between them, and I'm going to go back to math operations and select the little fraction a over b. That lets you type stuff as a numerator, and then it lets you type stuff as a denominator. It's actually really awesome. A lot of you probably are familiar with it from in Word, like Microsoft Word. It works very similarly in Google Docs, so don't freak out. So I need to put, let's see, how many moles of ammonia? So I got to put my 2 mole NH3. Oops. I got to select it. I always forget that. 2 moles NH3 on top. Then I just click my mouse on the bottom, and I'm going to put 3 mole H. 2. There we go. So I've got my mole ratio kind of done. And now I can do my little bit of math, and I've done this a couple times. So 11.5 times 2 is 23. 23 divided by 3 is 7 2/3, so 7.67 moles of NH3. Bam. And here's the thing. If you're going to do it this way, the best move, the best idea is don't write this out from scratch every time. So once you've got this, just copy it, paste it. Say you've got a different equation. Maybe you are dealing with, I don't know, how much CO2 we can get, or how much I don't know, CH4 can we make with a certain amount of CO2. You can just go in and change stuff around. Oops. Sometimes it's a little bit finicky. CH, I have to select that, but it saves a little bit of time. So you can change your letters afterwards. You can even just copy and paste, and just change the numbers. That'll work very well. And so this would be a correct answer. I know I didn't put the states, but I didn't do it because it would involve more. I mean, sure, we can do it if we really want to. Everything in this equation is a gas anyhow, so no harm, no foul. Bracket G, done. So that is how to do chemistry in Google Docs in a nutshell. There's obviously a whole bunch of other options here. When you get into Chem 30, you're going to be probably using that double-sided arrow quite a bit. I believe also, there's a whole bunch of different kinds of things. You can do calculus in here, obviously, as well. You can do set theory. There's a whole bunch of different symbols, many of which we don't use in high school. You got all your Greek letters as well. So lots of powerful tools in here to make your work look good, look professional, and actually be correct.